skyrocketing prices, and almost a new shortage every day. Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. We've all heard this stuff, right? We've all seen it at the grocery store. Any of you guys that go do the shopping for your family knows things are getting expensive quickly, and they're going to continue to get more and more expensive. And these shortages, it seems like almost every day a new shortage is popping up, and or a new sickness, illness, whatever it may be. Agenda-based? Don't know. Seems to me that we're being pushed in a direction. Also things going on overseas and, you know, against other nations and with other nations and stuff like that. We're headed, it's like the perfect storm type thing. We're headed for some trouble. At least things are going to get, man, they're going to get a lot more expensive. I mean, diesel, $6 a gallon, and we complain about that. Yet, a lot of people still buy their $7 latte, frou-frou, mocha, chino, whatever things. Think about that. Buy a couple of those a day, and they're complaining about the $3, maybe $4 or $5 it takes them to drive to work. Well, you know, it's all about priorities. And if you're watching this channel, hopefully your priority is about preparedness. And we need to make it a priority now. Serious priority. We need to get off our tushes, and we need to get a prepping. We need to get a prepping mentally, we need to get a prepping spiritually, and we need to get a prepping physically. A lot of preparedness, a lot of what will set you up for success in whatever kind of collapse, scenario, whatever goes down, will be your physical fitness. This video is not about physical fitness, but I want to mention it because I like mentioning it often, because it's one of the more difficult things to do, because you actually have to get up off your butt and you actually have to do it. You got to make it a part of your life. Me, I haven't been able to do it much lately because my wife was sick, and then we were all sick, and it's one of those things, it's like just hanging on to me. I don't know what it is. I actually had to take a nap earlier today. I'm pumping myself up with all the good stuff. All the good stuff. Yes, I'm taking care of myself, but it's just hanging on. And it's one of those things. We got to be strong. We got to be ready for this. We got to be prepared. Stockpile your food. Stockpile your water. I've heard something about like Farmer's Almanac and other sources talking about this summer being extremely hot potentially. Well, you know, I thought last winter was going to be a really harsh winter. Well, we were wrong. It wasn't. So who knows? But if this summer is really hot, we need to be prepared for that. We need to be prepared for potential rationing of things like water, especially in certain areas, aka California, that always runs into problems because they mismanage and misuse their resources. We as preppers have to manage our resources properly, which means stockpiling water, which means having the stuff we need to do what we need to do for our gardens, our livestock, and everything else. We need to be prepared to function without a grid. Do you have a way to cool your house off grid? Most people don't. We don't. Being honest with you. We got a lot of windows we can open up, but if we lost the grid, yeah, it would suck. It would. It doesn't get so hot here, though, that that it would be anything really bad. It would suck, but sometimes we got to embrace that suck, right? So what should we be doing? We should, you gotta start prioritizing preparedness. I see shortages at the store. The other day, it was actually kind of funny. We were at Walmart, and peanut butter was like wiped out. And I'm like, I mentioned to my 14-year-old, actually, he was off looking somewhere else, and we met back up. I was like, oh, peanut butter is the new toilet paper. And he reminded me of that recall on a lot of Jif peanut butter. So what had happened, I realized that we got to think sometimes. It may not be a shortage. It may just be the fact that they pulled all the Jif off the shelf. And so then people were having to buy what was left, making what was left short in stock. So, yeah, sometimes there's a reason. Sometimes there is just what's going on. Shortages. It's going to get ugly, people. I'm not doing this out of fear. We prep out of peace of mind, not out of fear here. But we got to make sure that we're taking this seriously. We got to stockpile lots of food, lots of water. Water is often overlooked by preppers. And the ability to replenish it. That's a big thing, right? Food storage, once you start using it, then it's going to run out when it runs out. Without a way to replenish it, meaning gardening, raising animals, foraging, hunting, fishing, trapping, snaring, all those kind of things, you won't be able to replenish what you're using. So you'll eventually run out. If it's a long-term enough event, or something happens where either your stuff is confiscated, or you got to bug out and you lose a lot of your stuff, and or somehow it gets damaged, somehow it gets infested, bad guys come and take it from you, whatever the situation may be. That's one important thing I've mentioned in the past. I talk about not putting all your eggs in one basket. Don't have all your food storage at your primary location. That makes sense. Have it at friends' houses. Have it at a storage unit. Have it cached out in the woods, properly stored. Have it different areas. Have it buried. Have it hidden. Whatever your situation is, and wherever you can, you need to spread it out. So that if you're hit in one area or something happens in one area, maybe I have a shed full of food storage. Maybe we have a really bad earthquake and the ground opens up right there and it all goes boom back in the ground and it shuts up, like in the movies. And all that food storage is gone. Okay, have other locations. I get it, that's an extreme scenario. But identifying, back to water, identifying sources of water is vitally important. Rivers, streams, lakes, ponds, pools. Who has pools? Can you get a pool? They got those inflatable pools that you can buy. Buy one. Put it in your yard. It's for the kids to play in. And then just cover it with a tarp to keep the grass and the leaves out. Oh, your kids never use their pool. Well, they just never think about it. Whatever. That's a lot of gallons of water right there. They make those bathtub, like water bladder things that you fill up into your bathtub. You can get those. You can also get the big or the big water barrels, the food grade barrels. I fill almost every container that's of a reasonable size, at least, that I empty, that is plastic or glass, with water. May not be all for drinking. It may be for watering the garden, or for doing laundry, or for watering the animals, or bathing, whatever it may be. But a lot of water. I fill up everything, even cat litter. I buy my cat litter in those plastic jugs, specifically so I can use the jug afterwards. That is obviously non-drinkable water. I'm not going to drink water after cat litter was in there. And items like milk jugs. Don't reuse those for potable water, for drinking water. Water jugs that had water in them anyway, and you used them and then you refilled them with water after you sanitized them, sure, stuff like that. But identifying sources to replenish your water is very important. You got to get out. You can look at Google Earth, you can look at maps, you can drive around. There's a lot of intelligence you can gather out there from these resources. So know where these things are. Maybe think about rainwater catchment systems. A lot of different things you can do. But I've talked recently about what should we stockpile? And it's the things, my big things are the things that you cannot produce yourself and the things that are headed for worse shortages, aka wheat, grains, rice maybe. A lot of countries, like I've talked about recently also, a lot of countries are not exporting the same amount of food that they were before, or maybe not exporting at all, due to them having more than one brain cell and recognizing the fact that their people are going to need to eat. So mainly, I really just want to encourage you guys, empower and uplift you guys to prepare. But first off, I would like to, since I forgot again, if you guys could subscribe, hit that thumbs up, share the videos, comment below. I really appreciate it. It really helps reach a larger audience so that we can get more people empowered and uplifted and awake to preparedness, awake to the fact that they can't rely on government to take care of them. The government's not here to help. The government will not take care of you without catches to it. You guys know what I mean. Without stipulations. And or they won't really be there to help you at all. Because it won't be within their capability if we have some large event or a collapse or, you know, these shortages get much worse. One thing, I don't know if you guys know about this, but the U.S. grain reserve that we're supposed to have, you know, the grain reserve to feed people, feed the nation in times of famine. I don't know when, but at some point they allowed that reserve to be held in cash or in money, whatever, ones and zeros, instead of actual grain. Well, what's the problem with that? If there's shortages in the United States, there's going to be shortages everywhere. So money won't do you any good. There won't be any grain to buy. There won't be anything to buy to feed the people. So think about that. It's important that we prepare for ourselves, not count on somebody else to take care of us. We need to be strong, independent people, independent from the on-demand supply system. We should be able to sit back, not watch any news for months, and be in the middle of a collapse and be like, oh, really? Oh, okay, whatever, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. That's optimal. Now, is it realistic? Probably not, especially people in the city because they'll know about it. People in suburbia will know about it because people will already be behaving badly. And even, you know, people that are rural will still hear about it because they have other friends and stuff like that that do pay attention to news and stuff. But anyway, the idea is to up your preparedness game. If you're not doing it already, get doing it. If you are, increase the priority. Cut some corners here and there. Add to your stockpiles. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day. And blessings to you and yours.